we go. I see it.
You see it? How's that
Mm-hmm.
look?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. Well, so what am I doing? And tell me, I have about 10 minutes. Is that correct?
No, you have about 20, 25 minutes. So lots of time.
Minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope to maybe just stop midway and invite any questions. What I'll do is I just want to introduce you to all the parks in our fair city and what's coming, and walk you through what we have planned. It's all really exciting. So here are a list of all the parks, or a map here, and I understand that a lot of our participants in this program come from all over the city. So I don't know if it's a possibility. I know some people know how to raise their hand on Zoom. So if I mention a park that you live near, I'd love to just get like a little, through Zoom, clapping or heads up to know that that's near you and you've been there. I'm going to try to work from west to east because the really fun, big stuff is coming in the east. We've also done smaller things in the western parks. So first of all, we have Newtown Park. I wonder if anybody's ever played lacrosse or soccer out there, or maybe taken a younger, yay, there's one, a few of them, very good. Even more, yeah, this is a very popular park, a very busy place. The cool thing about this is it is really packed. This has a park for all ages. We have the senior center, we have the wall that heals for the veterans, which is a replica of the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. This happens to be my daughter's favorite playground. And of course, there's a very popular dog park. Everybody all over the region knows about the dog park. I will say, you may notice that if you've been out there lately, the dog park is actually having its artificial turf replaced right now. So that is a little picture of the progress up in the top corner of the screen. If you go out there over the summer, you might notice that you'll see some work being done. If you look in the big picture on the screen, there's a yellow line that goes behind the lacrosse field and the tennis courts. That's going to be a new trail segment that we're going to hopefully be building over the summer so that walkers can have a nice big loop instead of walking through the parking lot. All right, any questions on Newtown? No? Moving on, we have Autry Mill, and I hope through this presentation maybe you'll see a park that you've never visited before or you didn't know was there. So I see some folks have raised their hand for Autry Mill. This is a really, really great nature preserve here. It has summer camps for elementary school and middle school students. Once you're 18 or over, you could be a counselor at those camps. You'll see Pebbles the tortoise right there in the center of the screen. Pebbles lives at this, in fact, that building you see on the screen, the two-story building, Pebbles lives on the left-hand side of that building along with snakes and fish. It's really an interesting place. Across the street from this, I don't have pictures, there's some goats you can go, and if you take the, I think you can take an animal husbandry course over there and then you can walk the goats, but they're fun to see. Additionally, there's a very lovely walking trail out back down by the creek with some boardwalks. So I'm glad to see that a few of the participants have visited Autry Mill before. Oh, I'll mention here, the building on the far left of the screen with that red door, that's the program barn. It's used for a lot of their programs. We're adding on a bathroom right now. So if you're there, you'll notice that little bit of work going on, and that'll be great for the campers because now they won't have to like leave the building to go to the big bathroom. They'll just be able to stay where they are. All right. I can say so much about Autry Mill. It's really a cool place, and they have a lot of neat programs. I hope you can go visit. All right, who's been to OC Park? Who's been to OC Park? Maybe some baseball folks. Yes, I see some folks been to OC. Very nice. So this is really focused on baseball, but I do want to mention there are some great sand volleyball courts out there and some basketball courts. Yeah, there's a bunch of folks that have chimed in for OC. But yeah, so there's basketball, tennis, volleyball, and again, if you're looking for something different, there is a lovely walking trail. You'll see my picture on the bottom left there. There's a nice place if you like to go take a jog or just take a walk with your family. In this park, we are hoping to create a little hiking trail. We'll call it a soft surface trail, but like a more of a nature trail that would go around. If you start at the top of the picture in that parking lot, and then wrap around the left-hand side of those baseball fields through the woods, down to the bottom, all through the woods, and tying back into the trail, sort of into the tennis courts on the bottom right there. So that's what we have planned for this particular park. All right, next one we have Morton Road. Who's been to Morton Road Park? Anybody? Hey, I got a Betty and an Evan. That's great. Morton Road, this is brand new. It is bright and shiny, and we're very proud of the work on this park. So it was just opened in October. Some interesting things, the parking lot, actually, the asphalt is called pervious asphalt. So the water, the rainwater, when it falls on that parking lot, it actually goes straight through the asphalt into the ground there. So you may not know, but if you park in those parking spaces, just take a look down and you'll see some really interesting engineering stuff that you didn't even know was there. The walking trail, the little black walking trail, is made of recycled tires. And I know the playground gets well used. It's in a really great spot next to all those neighborhoods. Folks can just walk on over there and enjoy it. Another little tidbit, you may not know this, but if you look in the picture, there's this sort of brown landscaping bed near the bottom. There are some really, really giant pipes under there, and that's what handles all the rainwater that comes on the site. So if they fill up with water under there, you don't even know it's there, but they're exceptionally large. You could actually walk through the pipes that are under that grass down there. All right, I'm stopping here for a second. Any questions so far? And how's my pace?
Great. I was gonna say that I drove by that park. It's really cool looking. It's really colorful, and every time I drive by, it looks like a lot of people are using it.
Yeah, it's really a well-placed park, I have to say, and it'll be especially nice as all the trees grow in and get higher and shadier. I think it'll really evolve into a lovely place for families to gather there.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, let's see here. Shake Rag Park. Anybody been to Shake Rag? Let's see, I've got Noreen and Annika and Ashu. Very good. So Shake Rag Park, that's over there on sort of the eastern side of the city. And this is very much where our cricket players love to play. We've done some really cool things. So in the picture on the top right there, the big green space on the right, you can see the baseball football field with the track around it. To the right of that, that's where a big cricket pitch is. And then the two little black boxes at the top and the bottom of that field are our batting cages, our cricket batting cages. So there's a picture in the bottom there of the batting cages. Johns Creek should be really proud of this facility because there's really nothing like this anywhere else in this area, facilities for cricket. Now, another fun little recent installation for our younger park patrons is our story walk. And there's a picture of that to the left-hand side there. And what a story walk is we picked a children's book and basically deconstructed it. So we took apart all the pages, well, with the publisher's permission, and we mounted them on signs around our nature path so that children and their families can just walk along and read the children's book while they walk the trail. It's not very far. It's only like a quarter mile or something. So like once around a football track, basically. And it's right up there. As you pull into Shake Rag Park, you'll see the playground and the lake. It starts right down there by the pavilions if you want to take a look. And if you've ever read the book, We Don't Eat Our Classmates, that is the book. It's really a fun one. Anybody read that book? Hands up. To their children? Or y'all don't have children, to little sisters? Yeah, one Riley. Very good. Thank you. Any questions on Shake Rag Park? No? Anybody play cricket out there? Maybe not. Okay, well, take a look. It's really a great park. And there's also, I didn't even mention, in my picture on the top right there, if you see the little gray paths, those are walking paths. So when you're at the cricket field, if you walk sort of south there, there's actually about a mile of a path down there that goes through some really nice wetlands. There's some wildlife down there. There's lots of deer tracks. So if you want to take a walk sometime, it's quite nice back in there in the woods.
Plus, our adult leadership program put in the last class put in the first scoreboard, cricket scoreboard in Georgia, and that is there at Shaker Egg Park.
Well, good job. Nice. Awesome. Watch out, there is a very, he's not aggressive, he's just not scared of people, a big red duck. So I call him Red, and he will certainly come up and come right to you looking for bread, so don't feed the ducks while you're out there. All right, I'm going to move on. This one, I'm not sure if anybody's been out there yet. It's fairly new. Do y'all know where Bell and Bowls is? This little pocket park? Hey, we got one that does. Very good. A couple. Very good. Awesome. Well, y'all might have, if anybody's driving age, you might have driven by these. This is a little pocket park. That's what we call these parks that are just sort of tucked, you know, small ones, maybe an acre or something. This is just some green space where folks can come and throw a frisbee, kick a ball around on that field. There's no bathrooms, you know, and actually the picture there doesn't show everything we have. So what I've shown here is also the little engineering plan on the left-hand side there. And an interesting thing that we have, it'll be coming, as soon as it dries out really, we're planting a butterfly garden, is that sort of triangular blob on the left side of my picture there. So that is a butterfly garden. It's going to have cone flowers and butterfly bushes to attract our pollinators in the city. There's also some more landscaping that's put in, so it's quite a nice little quiet space there just to come walk your dog or just hang out for a while. These spaces have been used a lot more than maybe previous years with the quarantine, of people just needing to get out of their houses and, you know, be safe outside. Alrighty, I'm gonna move on here. Okay, State Bridge Park. Now this is a tough one. Does anybody know that State Bridge Park is there? I'm gonna guess you don't.
No.
No, okay, that's because it's not actually really open yet, but it kind of is. This is really a nice place. It's a little wooded park. It's sort of, if you think of where Morton Road Park is, it's like across States Bridge and just down a little stretch. It's got a gravel parking lot and a little walking path through the trees. In the hot summer months, we hope families will come over here and enjoy a walk in the shade. There's a creek back there. So it's quite a nice little space, but it's, yeah, it's just really a walking path back there. So bring your dog, you know, get in the shade. There's some pretty magnolias in there and some big trees. It's really a nice spot. All right, this is the fun stuff. Collie Creek Park. Has anybody heard of this yet? It's not a, oh yay, Noreen has. Okay, very good. All right, Collie Creek, this is really exciting, and it's been in the plans for a good while now, several years with the city. But I'm happy to say that actually the construction plans are in for permitting right now. So we really hope to send this set of plans out for bid in the summer maybe. So what you see on the left is the property now. It's about 200 acres. And on the right-hand side of your screen is what is coming. So, for example, there are 4 multi-purpose fields, and actually the right-hand one, the lighter green one in that picture, also has some little bump outs on the end, so it can be used as a full-size cricket pitch. If we have any runners in the group, there will be a 5K running path. I don't know, can you see my cursor? I'm not sure if you can see it or not. But the 5K running path is the serpentine little line you see around the whole park. So, and it'll be made of rubber, actually. Again, recycled tires. That'll make this whole running path. So really, you know, a group, high schools or even, you know, benefit 5Ks could rent out this eventually. And they'll have a great path that's all internal to the site. There's pickleball courts up in the top there. One of those little blue boxes is 5 pickleball courts. There are basketball courts, there's volleyball courts, and some restrooms, some buildings, and even a little park office that will have like a little police precinct in it out here. This is a really big deal for Johns Creek. It's going to be quite the benefit to the city. And I did want to stop here and just see if anybody has any questions on this very large project.
So last time we went to City Day, Kimberly had the kids draw their ideas for the park. I was wondering if any of those made it into the park plan.
You know, I wish I knew what those plans. Oh, Kimberly's on, or maybe she is. I don't know if Kimberly, the students were just asking about last year's City Day. Anything on and the elements that you all explored last year made it onto this plan, and I'm not sure.
Absolutely. So, sorry, I assume you can hear me now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Okay. So yes, one of the things we heard from the student leadership class of last year was we'd really like to make sure that there's a cricket field, not just a half cricket field or a partial cricket field, but a full-size cricket field. So that is definitely a major element in the new Collie Creek Park plan for part of the initial construction. As Erica highlighted, that's in the light green area. Another thing that the class highlighted and said was really important was the perimeter loop walking trail, making sure that it wasn't just part of the park, but it was the entire park. So it's hard to see in a little image, but that walking trail loop that Erica mentioned is definitely a signature feature for the park. The third thing that I'd point out from the drawings and the request from the class last year was making sure that we worked on the connection to Rogers Bridge. And I know Erica's going to touch on this in another slide, I believe, but in the southwest corner of the park, it actually is adjacent to Rogers Bridge. So it will form this amazing connection where you can actually go out over the Chattahoochee River to the Duluth side. So those were 3 big elements that the class highlighted as important to address some of the questions from the chat. This is located off of Bell Road. So it's the best address point I can give you is 7225 Bell. So that is south of McGinnis Ferry connection. And if you were from the Bell at Bowles roundabout, you'd want to be headed towards McGinnis Ferry. It's about halfway there to McGinnis, if that makes sense. And then estimated completion at 200 acres, it's going to take a while to build out the park. But step 1 was getting those plans finalized. As Erica said, she's got plans in for permitting, which means we'll go out to bid this summer. There are elements that will be done sooner than later, but Erica's going to touch on some of that in her next slide for construction timing. So
you chose not to go with gold mines then?
We chose not to go with gold mines. However, you know, future Leadership Johns Creek project to highlight the history and how we found a gold nugget in Collie Creek so many years ago, and it's part of the gold rush. So there is certainly room for future projects.
Great.
I do want to mention that this particular property is really interesting on an environmental level. In the top corner, sort of above the big blue square, there's some lovely wetland areas. Again, you have the pasture lands here. You have the river on the southern border. You have a creek that bisects it, and you've got some really nice trees out there too. So there's a lot of different, you know, aside from all the wonderful recreational elements, there's some really great habitats, and it's just a really neat green space that a lot of folks can enjoy. So part of my job is designing the stuff that's built, and part of my job is taking care of the property as it is and the habitats that exist there. So there's also floodplains on here. So it's just a really interesting, designing these things is really interesting how you can, you know, meld all these elements into one piece that the community can enjoy. All right, so here's what's under construction right now, and it's the top little portion of the trail, one little segment of it. So there's this picture that you see is actually right up there by Bell Road, and they're grading it in right now. So the little red stripe down the middle, that'll be where they put rock down, and then they put the rubber surface on top, and that will be part of the trail. So the interesting thing is, keep in mind that Rogers Bridge comes right down the side of our park here. So this trail will tie into Rogers Bridge Trail. Now, has anybody on the call raise your hand if you've walked down that Rogers Bridge Trail before? All right, we've got a few. Great. Okay, so don't walk down it right now. It's closed because there's heavy construction going on back that way. They're starting to build the bridge, or the construction to build the bridge. Down here at the very bottom of Rogers Bridge is where they're going to reconstruct the bridge over the Chattahoochee. So there's, I want you to see how this all connects. So the 5K trail is part of Rogers Bridge, connects across the river. So here on the left side of your screen is what it looks like now. Again, unsafe, do not get on it. In the future, you'll have a lovely pedestrian crossing. So you could park at Collie Creek, ride your bike, run the path, even cross over the river into Duluth. So this is a really, really cool project that's just getting started. One more cool project that's linked all this together. Let's see, I'm gonna move my little people here. I want y'all to see how this all ties together. So in the middle of your screen here, the green line, the serpentine line, that's the Collie Creek 5K trail. The orange line down the side is Rogers Bridge that we already talked about, and the Rogers Bridge is the red rectangle over the Chattahoochee. Well, what is in the plans for, and we're just starting to select our consultant for this, or the designer, is a 2-mile Chattahoochee Greenway that will connect from Abbott's Bridge Road to Collie Creek Park. So if you're a hiker, this is a National Park Service property, and we'll be working closely with them to create this really great system of trails, that goes all the way from Abbott's Bridge to our Collie Creek Park and then across to Duluth. So I, for one, am super excited about all these projects and the way they tie together. I think that's all of the elements. I think I've touched on all of our parks so far. I hope you've seen what we've put in place, what we're planning, and what's actively under construction. So with that, Kimberly and I are right here for any questions.
There is a question. It says, do you know what that pipe bridge is at the end? Is that the Rogers Bridge?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
It says, do you know what that pipe bridge is at the end? Sammy, is that?
Oh, that big pipe?
Yeah.
If it's the pipe on the left side of this picture, I believe
Yes.
that's a big water pipe.
It's the emergency water flow connection between Gwinnett and Fulton County.
Uh-huh. So do you guys have any questions? So Kimberly, they watched your video of the city tour. You said you were masked. This is the person that was in the video behind the mask.
Yes.
And they were all like, that is so professional.
Oh,
so you did a really good job. And so do you guys have any other questions about the parks in Johns Creek?
I don't have any questions, but I just want to say it's very good that you guys are like very creative with all this stuff, and it's awesome that you're renovating all these things also. So it's like the perfect balance of like creation and renovation. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's definitely
So
a park system we should all be proud of.
Do you know when the Abbott's Bridge will be done?
That part's probably going to be a couple years, in that Collie Creek we can control a construction timeline on. Abbott's Bridge, because it's going through National Park Service, we have to work with our partners and a pace that they're comfortable and identify some construction funding.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're good at that.
I've got a great team. Yes, we are motivated, and it's a fantastic project. So.
Plus, didn't Johns Creek just get $26 million?
We did win a $3 million Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Grant that we have used towards the funding of the multi-use trail at Collie Creek. So we have an awesome track record of winning grants and awards to assist in making these projects come to reality. But the best part is that this was a project, excuse me, that was identified by our citizens and one that we know is of importance and brings great value. So we're going to do everything we can to implement it.
And then they said, where's the entrance to the 5K trail?
Yeah, I'll flip back to the screen here. Let's go to the master plan. So there may be this this separate area. However, if this doesn't get constructed, we'll have all sorts of ways to get on the trail. There'll be connections here. There'll be connections from this parking lot. There's any number of connections there to that whole trail system.
Cool. So does anybody else have any other questions? So you guys might not recognize, but if you look at Johns Creek, we're surrounded on two sides by the Chattahoochee River, which is kind of cool.
Irene, are your students looking at, are they headed towards college these days, or what age groups?
They're junior and seniors.
Okay.
So yeah,
well, I'll say all the things that you just, there's so many careers in what I just spoke about. I mean, everything from recreation to engineering to landscape architecture. I mean, depending on your interest level on different things, the parks world is a great place to be as a career.
Especially now, I think with COVID, I think people want that outdoor space.
Yeah, there's environmental protection. I mean, all of those things are all part of what we do here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a field that I don't think a lot of kids think about, but land development is a pretty big field.
Be great if you ask me.
Yeah. So this is your last chance, guys. Do you guys have any questions about the city, about parks? Anybody? They're all so quiet.
After lunch.
Yeah.
So where's
the State Bridge Trail? Yeah, like where would you get where is that gravel parking lot that you said?
Yeah,
where would you
flip back? So it's a little hard to see on this map. It's along States Bridge, across from Morton Road Park. So it's on the southern side of States Bridge, just past Morton Road Park.
At some point this summer, in the next 3 months, we're going to put up a nice sign at the entrance to State Bridge Park. When we do that, it'll be officially ready for you to wander the trails. Right now, feel free to wait just a hot minute. So you've got some inside scoop on what we're working on right now.
Cool. Cool. I can't wait to go on that park. I love, how long of a trail is it? Do you know?
It's a small area. So the trail's more like a third of a mile or so. So a couple loops will get you a mile, but it's more just a shady place to be on a hot day. It's going to be really nice.
Yeah. Well, cool. So any more questions, guys? So unfortunately, this is the class that missed City Day last year. So, and now they're graduating from student leadership. So they're never going to get to come see City Day.
They can come back and visit. We'd love to have them. We'll
yeah, you guys can always just go. Yeah, you guys can just go and say, hey, show me around. But this was really nice of you guys to do this. I know you're busy, but we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you all for participating, even though it was on Zoom. The little hands up made me feel like at least y'all were tuned in and listening. I appreciate it.
It was extremely nice of you guys to do this. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Kimberly, what was the dog's name that was in the dog video? Do you know?
The dog's name? I do not. I'm sorry.
It's the lady that has that dog. Sergeant.
Sergeant Roberts. I can find out for you.
We can find out. I just don't have that with me. Sorry.
Because I couldn't remember. I don't think we've ever seen that dog before. I think it was a newer dog. So anyway, Well, thank you so much. I got a couple here. Thank yous. Riley McCabe, she's Dan McCabe's daughter. You know
Wow,
him.
small world. Well, thank you all for paying attention. It was great to see you, and we honestly do mean it. Like, if you want to stop by City Hall and come see it one day when the pandemic's not raging, check in at the kiosk or tell the receptionist. I'd be happy to give you a tour or answer any questions.
Thanks so much, Kimberly. Thanks, Erica. Thanks.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Bye, Jennifer. I know Jennifer was on.